to help those who are in need. It's one of my favorite charity. I always pledge every year to help. In this past week, we've been, during the weekday masses, we've been hearing about the book, we've been reading the book of Genesis about the creation of all, of everything, including man. Of course, there are two versions of creation of the man and woman. And Deacon Harold Burke-Sever was teaching the high school youth about this creation, and he asked them, why did God choose Rib to create the woman or Eve? They have many answers, but one of them said, maybe the man has an extra rib, so that's why he used the rib. But as Deacon Harold said, you mean the woman is a spare rib? Spare rib? What is the point is, my point is, man and woman are created by God. They are equal. And we know it's also in our Constitution or a Declaration of Independence that they are complementary. They are not enemy to each other. Only the enemy or Satan wants to make man and woman fight. But for God, we are all created in the image and likeness of God, and we are complementary. If God says the woman is the helper, it means what the Psalm also said, that the Lord is my helper. It's not about being second class. It's equal footing. Even if we talk about this in terms of battle, the army, the woman is the partner of the man in battling against the enemy. So the enemy is not one of us. It's the devil. It's Satan who tempted Adam and Eve. And he has one plan, still doing, is to continue to do it. One game plan, that we should doubt God, and then he make us think that we can be happy without God, or we can be independent from God. In our readings today, leprosy is a disfiguring and contagious disease. We can think of the virus also that is happening to us, that it may cause us, like those who are leprous, and we heard in our first reading, to be isolated or to be quarantined or locked down. But this leprosy, we can see it. It's a physical defect in the skin, but the virus we cannot see. That's why we wear the mask. In leprosy, the body deteriorates steadily and over time becomes dysfunctional and even unrecognizable. When you get this disease, it becomes your identity. Your name will become a leper. You become a living dead and are cut off from the community life. You are exiled. In ancient times, there was no cure for leprosy. God alone could heal you from this dreadful disease. And that's what Jesus did in our gospel today. Only God, through his priests, can declare you clean and restore you to community life. This is also what happens to sin in our time. It separates us from the love of God and also from the community, the church. That's why when we come to confession, we are reconciling not only to God, but also to the whole church, the body of Christ. Sin is like leprosy. It makes us impure or unclean. Pride, selfishness, arrogance corrupt the human heart. Our hearts need to be purified from these sins. Sin damages us such that we are not able to function properly, and we no longer look like Christ, in whose image we were created. Sin is a spiritual leprosy. It cuts us off from union with the Holy Trinity and from one another. As we know, mortal sin deprives us of sanctifying grace. We all need Jesus to clean and heal us. So like the leper, we can say to Jesus, "If you wish, you can make me clean." And how do we do this? We do this every time we come to Mass, because every time we celebrate Mass, we ask God's forgiveness in the first part of the Mass. But the second way we do this, we allow Jesus to make us clean, make us pure, is through the Sacrament of Holy Confession. And we know that venial sins are forgiven every time we celebrate Mass, but mortal sin, we need to go to confession to receive the Holy Sacrament of reconciliation. And we can hear Jesus as he said to the leper today, "I do will it, be made clean." Or he can say to the woman, "Your sins are forgiven, go and sin no more." Or when we go to the confession, we can hear the priest says, "I absolve you from sins." We need to approach Jesus with a humble and contrite heart as Lent approaches. Let us prepare to receive the sacrament of Holy Confession in order to celebrate new life and be light to others. Let us strengthen our prayer life and the practice of self-sacrificing love for our neighbors. Let us renew our relationship with God by increasing our prayer life and charity in our hearts. 2 Sundays ago, I talked about the first part of the Lectio Divina. There are 4 steps of Lectio Divina, talking about prayer and increasing our prayer life. So the first 2 steps was about reading the Word of God, especially the Gospel, or the reading of the day, or the coming Sunday Gospel. And then the second part is meditation. Today we will talk about the third and the fourth, which is oratio, or prayer, and then contemplation, the fourth step. Gregor the Carthusian illustrated the Lectio Divina using the image of eating. And so, for reading, it's like placing the food in our mouths, and for meditation, it's like chewing. And then to swallow, it's like the prayer, and then to savor the experience is contemplation. Prayer asks the question, what do we say to the Lord in response to His Word? Prayer as petition, intercession, thanksgiving, and praise is the primary way by which the Word transforms us. After reflecting on the Word, slowly chewing on the questions of what God is saying to us, how He is professing His love for us, and ways that He is challenging us or directing us and guiding us, it is appropriate for us to give a response. That's why every Sunday, the first reading, we have a responsorial psalm, which is a response to the first reading. Example today is about being a leper. having a leprosy, and then our response to God in the responsorial psalm is, I turn to you, Lord, in time of trouble, and you fill me with joy of salvation. God is a merciful Father. Unlike Adam and Eve, when they first commit sin, they hide. They hide from God. And sometimes that's also what we do. We hide from God, but He wants us to come to Him, to give us His mercy and salvation. Our model for the response to the Word of God is the Blessed Virgin Mary, when she said, let it be done to me according to your word. It is an acceptance of God's love, a surrender to His will, expressing our gratitude for His grace and asking Him to share this grace with others as well. We can also imitate Saint Joseph, who listened to the Word of God and act upon it. Grego the Carthusian illustrated the step of prayer as swallowing. Swallowing is a form of commitment. We are ready to make the food we are chewing on completely a part of ourselves. Likewise, our oratio is a form of commitment, accepting the word I have been chewing on as truly a word for me. Swallowing is a risk even greater than the risk of chewing. We make ourselves vulnerable as we let this word from the outside of us come into us and become part of us. Then, like Mary, it will be said to us, blessed are you who believe that what was spoken to you by the Lord would be fulfilled. And we can also imitate Jesus praying in the Garden of Gethsemane, Father, if you are willing, take this cup away from me. Still, not my will, but yours be done. So, the purpose of prayer is to be transformed, to be more open and say yes to the will of God instead of our own will. And sometimes many of us will say, oh, I pray all the time. But the Catechism, paragraph 2697 says, we cannot pray at all times if we do not pray at specific times, consciously willing it. So it's important for us, especially we are going to come to enter the Lenten season, to have this resolution of increasing our prayer time, because it's the way we unite, we connect with God. Also, to summarize these steps of prayer, of Lectio Divina, Grego the Carthusian said, seek in reading, and you will find in meditating. Knock in mental prayer, and it will be open to you by contemplation. So referring to Matthew 7, seek and you will find, knock and it will be open to you. So we seek in reading, and you will find in meditating, and then knock in mental prayer, and you will be opened. It will be open to you by contemplation. So the last step of this prayer, Lectio Divina, concludes with contemplation, during which we take up as a gift from God His own way of seeing and judging reality, and ask ourselves, what conversion of mind, heart, and life is the Lord asking of us? In the letter to the Romans, St. Paul tells us, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that you may prove what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. Romans 12, verse 2. Today in our second reading also, our St. Paul told us to do everything for the glory of God, and that to imitate Him as He imitated Christ. Contemplation aims at creating within us a truly wise and discerning vision of reality as God sees it, and at forming within us the mind of Christ. The Word of God appears here as a criterion for discernment. It is living and active, sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing to the division of soul and spirit, of joints and marrow, discerning the thoughts and intentions of the heart. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12. Guido de Carthusian described these 4 steps of Lectio Divina as digestion. After taking the food, chewing and swallowing, we are left with a stage that is more passive. This stage does not take conscious effort, but actually benefits more from not doing anything. After having a real meal, simply resting in order to digest is a very healthy thing. This is similarly true in Lectio Divina. After our encounter with God, we can simply rest in His presence. The digestion of our encounter with Him and His Word spoken to us changes us from the inside, similar to the subtle way that the digestion of natural food changes us. A transformation takes place slowly and steadily as we develop a more truly wise and discerning vision of reality as God sees it. This is a path to better living according to the logic of the gospel, and it is also a preparation for heaven, for that ultimate union with God when we will see Him as He is. So the 4 steps of prayer, we've been talking in these past Sundays about the 2 main way of having this personal prayer, the way of receiving God's fatherly love is through adoration, or we have to silence ourselves, ask the Holy Spirit to pray adoration, and then this one, the Lectio Divina, which we all can do. And may the Blessed Virgin Mary and Saint Joseph help us to encounter God and be healed and be united with Him forever in heaven. Amen.